Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, the 8th of February. And as you can see, I'm sitting in my front room because unfortunately, we've had a very different Monday to normal, and we've had to close the school to all children this morning, sadly, because our heating has broken over the weekend. You are all probably aware that we've got some fantastic snow outside. I'm just looking out the window now, and I live on quite a main road, and it is still fairly thick. So I've seen a few buses go past. What I would like to talk to you again this morning about in my assembly is curiosity. So I'm going to share my screen with you. There we go. Let me put the slideshow on properly. Okay, so here we go. Good morning, everyone. Now, I thought I'd show you a picture. This was what I saw this morning. I woke up really early. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning, sort of the time a milkman might have got up when I was little. And as you can see, there is lots of snow on the ground. You see, I live very near a bus stop, and these tracks in the road were made by the buses going past in the night. But this is my next door neighbour's garden, and it's all fresh snow in the night. Now, I still get very excited when it's snowing. I don't know about you. So I know that even though you will be doing some remote learning today, I hope you all still manage to get out and build a snowman or make a few snowballs and take some pictures. That would be fantastic, so that you can share them in your Zoom meetings today. Now, I thought this was a wonderful quote and fitted what we were talking about. It says, "Blessed are the curious, for they shall have adventures." And that's something I thoroughly believe. If we are all curious, it will make our life much more adventurous and much more exciting. Now, I was thinking over the weekend, I became curious about where our school is in Shirley in Croydon. Now, before I came to work at Forest Academy about a year ago, I think I probably had been to Croydon maybe once before then. So Shirley and Croydon itself is quite new to me. So I was really interested to find out a bit more about it. And I thought I would start by finding out which people maybe had come from Croydon or had lived in Croydon. So that's what I spent a lot of the day yesterday. I really only meant to spend about half an hour. I ended up spending about 2 hours because my curiosity got the better of me. Now, hopefully I'll be able to share with you some people that you had no idea lived in Croydon. Now, one of these, or two of these actually, are the authors, Janet and Alan Alberg. Now, I am sure that all of you will be very familiar with the Funny Bones books. These are one of my favourite books that I used to like reading my children. And I think I read this book last lockdown when we were in the summer. I put a recording on our website. Burglar Bill, Mrs. Wobble the Waitress, The Jolly Postman. So Janet and Alan Alberg, they wrote all of these books and many more, and they are from Croydon, which I thought was very exciting. So our school is in a very interesting place. Now, you may not have heard of this person. This is Omari McQueen, and he is very young. He is an entrepreneur. Now, for those of you who are not sure what an entrepreneur is, it means he is a business person. So Omari McQueen, he set up his own vegan restaurant in Croydon when he was just 11. So that would be like someone in our year 6 setting up their own restaurant, which I thought was very exciting. So he is the CEO of his own business that he has called Dipalicious, cooking up a range of vegan dips and snacks. And customer favorites are his jackfruit with breadfruit and tortilla madness. Now, Omari, he started to learn to cook when his mum sadly fell ill. And so to help her out, he started helping out in the kitchen and realized that he absolutely loved cooking. And he has now made a little business about this. So I was very impressed. And I think it's still going. So well done, Omari. And he chose Croydon to set his business up in, which I thought was fantastic. Now, you may not have heard of his name. This is Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, but you will have heard of the books or some of the books that he wrote. So this is the man that wrote the Sherlock Holmes series. So I think most of you would have heard of Sherlock Holmes, a detective, and lots of stories with Sherlock Holmes and Watson. And Arthur Conan Doyle, he wrote these books while he was living in Croydon from 1891 to 1894. He lived in South Norwood. And I thought that that would be fascinating for us, that we kind of share the place that we go to school with such a famous author who is known all over the world. And he chose to live in Croydon at one point. This is Luol Deng. Now, he is a very, very famous basket player for the LA Lakers. I think he's now retired, but he is originally, or he lived for some time in Croydon, as well as I think he was originally from Sudan. Now, not only was Luol Deng a very, very famous basketball player, he has then also gone on to set up the Luol Deng Foundation, which uses basketball to as a charity to work with young people in Africa, America, and the United Kingdom to provide an outlet and support for young people. So I thought he was a really, really good role model and an ex-inhabitant of Croydon that has also not only then moved to America, had a very successful life, but hasn't forgotten that he once lived in the UK, and his charity now has several bases all over the world and helps support children where he grew up. So I thought that he was somebody worth recognising that lived in our local community. Now, Tracy Emin, for those of you that know, I love art. Art is one of my favourite things, and Tracy Emin is an artist, and she won the Turner Prize a number of years ago, which is a very prestigious award for kind of modern art. She doesn't do traditional paintings as such, but she uses a whole variety of media to express herself, and often her artwork is about her own life. So she does do paintings, but she sometimes takes photographs, she makes films, she sews things. So Tracy Emin is, I think she now lives in Margate, but she did live in Croydon for some time. So another famous resident of Croydon. Stormzy. Now, my daughter is very pleased that I've included Stormzy because he is one of her favourite artists. So he was born in Croydon. His mum is Ghanaian, and Stormzy grew up in South Norwood. And he wasn't from a particularly musical household, interestingly enough, but began rapping at the age of 11. And it says in his autobiography that he would clash with older rappers at his local youth club. I'm wondering whether that was because he was really good for his young age and maybe they were a bit envious of his talent. But Stormzy is also worldwide famous, isn't he? And he also does a lot for the local community. So another great role model for Croydon. Donna Fraser. Now, this lady is an Olympian. She ran in the 200 and 400 meter events and has been awarded one of the highest awards that a local authority can give. And she's been given the Freedom of the Borough of Croydon. So a huge honour. I don't think very many people get given this. And again, she does a lot of work for the local community. So Donna Fraser, don't forget her name either. Darren Brown. Now, Darren Brown, for those of you that have been to Thorpe Park, he has a ride named after him. If you've ever been on the sort of spooky train ride, he's also a magician and an illusionist, and he went to school pretty close to our school, actually. He went to Whitgift School, and his dad also taught there as a swimming coach. And he became a hypnotist and a magician because he was inspired by someone when he was at university coming to visit. There was a hypnotist did a show. He thought, wow, this is something that I'm really interested in. And that, well, encouraged him to change his career from studying law and German, very, very different, to becoming a magician and illusionist himself. So another famous ex-inhabitant of Croydon who went to Whitgift School, just up the road from us. Naomi Campbell. Now, I'm sure you will have heard of Naomi Campbell. Naomi Campbell is about the same age as me. So she was always in the magazines when I was growing up. And very, very beautiful woman. So she was first spotted when she was just 15 years old. She is from Croydon itself. And since that time, her photograph, her portrait, has been on more than 500 magazines. And she has also modeled for a lot of the top fashion brands, including Burberry, Prada, Versace. She, not only that, she's been a real trailblazer. She was the first Black model to appear on the cover of Time magazine in America, as well as French Vogue, Russian Vogue, and the first Black model to appear on the cover of British Vogue. So in her relatively short lifespan, she has crammed a lot in. And if you want to find out more about her, she does have her own website that you can kind of read a bit more about her. Ian Wright, footballer as well. He spent, those of you that love football, I'm sure, are aware, he spent many years playing for Crystal Palace, just up the road from us. But he also spent many, many years living in Shirley. So he lived very close to the school. And in fact, that made me really excited. And curious, and I searched again. And I thought, oh, please say that you went to Spring Park or Forest Academy Primary School, but he didn't, sadly. But his school would have been very close by to ours. So the next time you see him on TV, you can think, ah, oh, you grew up in Shirley too, just like some of you. Now, I hope that has inspired you. It then led me on to try and find extra interesting facts about Croydon, and there are a lot out there. So it's always good to be curious about where we live, what can we discover, because they are the adventures that we can have. Now, let me just get back to the screen. I hope you all have a wonderful day in the snow. I can't wait to see your photographs of your perhaps snowmen, snow women even, your snowballs, your beautiful photographs of our snowy scenes outside. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye, everyone.